What we
Okay.
could do, we don't even have to have an intro. We could just legit get into it, bro. If you don't want an intro, and we could do that later on.
Hello, guys. Welcome. Let's start like that.
All right,
Hello, guys. Welcome to what is this called?
Pick and
The
Pop
Pick and Pop
podcast.
podcast.
Hey, I
The
think what
Pick
is
and
this
Pop
called?
podcast.
That's pretty funny, bro.
What do you mean? What's funny?
Like, what's this called?
What's this called? The Pick and Pop podcast. Like, oh, no, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But welcome, everyone. Today we're doing it's the first episode, so it might be a little rough, but we'll do our best to
Yep.
keep it maintained. Talk about opinions, sports, analysis. We're not professionals, obviously, but I will say we're doing it for the love of the game, for the love of basketball. You guys will notice over time that my co-host over here, main guy Valentin, or Val for short, he is the guy for the main knowledge, but you guys got me too for the second part of the different knowledge, different perspective, if that makes any sense.
No, right, right.
So
Well, I'll say this. He's giving me too much credit. I'm just a casual at heart, but as like he said, we do it for the passion. So,
yes.
um, all right. Well, we have planned today. We're gonna go over the NBA awards, who deserves to win. All the main ones:
So
MVP, Rookie of the
exciting,
Year,
bro.
all that. So exciting.
Yes.
And I don't know what. Oh yeah, have you introduced yourself? Josie, Jose.
Oh, my name's Jose Josie. I think for now I feel like I should be called Josie. You guys can call me Josie. My friends call me Josie, but you guys can call me Josie. So you guys are gonna be part of our squad. We should give you guys a name, but I think Pick and Pod's crew is fine for now. I think
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, Josie. I don't know any of his picks, and he doesn't know any of mine. So it's gonna be just as exciting for
Hmm.
me to like see his thought process and everything.
Hmm.
Um, so all right, Josie, let's get started. I think we should get started with the main one, get it out the way.
Nah, you're
MVP.
tripping.
Who do you have?
What? MVP is crazy. Really? Starting off with MVP? Crazy. Well, let me look at my notes, bro. For me, you want me to tell you start? Do you want me to tell you who is my MVP personally, or should I go with?
Go with whatever your heart tells you, and
All right. Well,
we
for
can go
me,
from
so
there.
if you come straight out the gate and you're like, Josie, who's your MVP? I would honestly say, and I'm still 50-50, and everybody knows it's either Nikola or it's either Nikola Jokic or Shea Gilius Alexander, right? From the OKC or no, Nikola from Denver. For me, it's 50-50. Both great players. You know, Nikola Jokic basically got what triple double through the whole season. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That, in my opinion, that's an overall player. Obviously, I don't know defensive wise, whatever. We don't talk about that mainly. This game's very offensive, but in saying that, I'm gonna say Shea Gillis Alexander for me. I think
Oh.
SGA deserves it. I think he played such a good season. Well, I think they've ended like 60 wins, right? 60 something wins. I think 64, 63.
Yeah, they had like
I
14
think he
losses,
deserves it.
so
Yeah, 14 losses is insane. And yes, they call him a free throw merchant. I get it. But at the end of the day, he gets to the line and maybe he has a crazier whistle than others. Maybe not Steph, not like Steph, he doesn't have the best whistle. But honestly, I'm going to say Shea, in my opinion. I don't know. To me, it's Shea, but what about you? Who'd you pick?
yeah. Well, first, before I let you know my pick, I gotta tell you, I'm surprised that you picked Shea,
What?
and not because I don't think you like him, but a couple of days ago we were having a conversation, and you
Hmm.
were telling me about Jokic, and you were telling me about the voters fatigue specifically. So I thought
Hmm.
the whole time that your heart was set on Jokic. So
Hmm.
I'm I kind of caught off guard that you did pick Shea. But that being said, my MVP Shea Gilgeous Alexander, man. I don't think you can give it to anybody else this season. And it's not to take
Hmm.
anything away from Jokic because, like you said, averaging a triple double as a center, okay,
As a
getting
center.
double double makes sense. Points, rebounds, but as a center, being the main playmaker on your team is insane.
And
But that being
and then
said,
without him, mhm,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, without him, I don't know how successful were they. Do you know exactly like how well they were doing without
I don't
him, or?
have the specific numbers, but I know that without him, yeah, they were not good at all. Even because Jamal Murray has been dealing with injuries and his
Hmm.
teammates have as well. But even with them there, they haven't been having the best season. He's been having to do a lot
Hmm.
of backpacking.
Of
Expensive
course.
backpack for 30. Shout out Draymond Green. Uh,
No, we can't talk about Draymond, bro. He's gonna give us a ban or something, bro.
right, yeah,
If we
you're right.
say
Now
anything bad about it. But we'll get to him later.
you're right.
We'll
We might.
get
That's
to
what I
him
was gonna
later.
say. We might get to him a little bit later. But
Oh,
Shaquille
hell
Alexander,
no. Watch
averaging
out, he's gonna swing on you, bro.
you know, and I'm smaller than Jordan Poole. He's gonna get me in half a punch. Um, Shaquille Alexander averaging, I have it here on Basketball Reference, 32.7 points, 5 rebounds, and
Dang, you got the
6.4
stats.
assists. Which again, when you compare it to Jokic, let me pull him up actually real quick.
I think his
See,
is 29.8 points per game, 12.8 rebounds, and then 16.2 assists, I think.
perfect, thank you, my boy. He's
Mhm.
averaging a triple double, which is insane because Russell Westbrook in 2017, I want to say 2017, he won the MVP,
Mhm.
and that year he won it by averaging a triple double because it hadn't been done since Oscar Robinson, and like he doesn't. And Oscar Robinson, no offense, doesn't even count. He was like in the 70s or 60s. So
That was in the 70s.
and everyone was saying this record is never gonna be broken, never gonna be broken. And then comes along Russell Westbrook and he breaks it. And now it's at a point where it's like more common. So now that we see Jokic averaging a triple double, people may it may be a
Yeah.
little bit diluted, but that's still
hmm
insane. Especially as a center,
Like
like I said, him averaging 10 assists as a center.
that's insane. Do you think like if so like let's go back. Let's say Nikola Jokic, let's say like this wasn't his first. Let's say we go to 2010 and you pop in Jokic and he'd average this in 2010. LeBron's there, Kobe's still there. He averaged this. Will he win MVP, you think, automatically, no matter what? 10, that's like 12
Y-
years, 15 years ago.
yes, 100%. I think 100%. I don't think we've seen a center like Jokic before. I mean, I can't even think of anyone similar. And again,
I
like
mean, is
we're not
Jokic?
very into the history of the NBA, but
Yeah, yeah.
I can't think of anybody. Like Shaq was
Because
dominant,
people,
but
mm,
not like this.
because people are saying like, is Nikola getting up there to like, I wouldn't say top 10, but like, is he getting up there, like starting to overpass all these different players? Maybe. I
Right?
mean, maybe with another
Maybe.
chip. I don't know. I don't know. He's great. He's breaking
And
stats
the
all the time. You
stats.
always hear him.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I guess in saying that, I guess we still pick SGA. I think that's the overall
Right.
consensus. I
And also,
guess.
it's not just because of the one-on-one comparison.
No.
Because Shea is doing this 32 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And a lot of times he doesn't even play the fourth quarter because that's how good they are.
That's
They're blowing
yeah.
teams out of the water, and he's averaging these stats in that. So imagine like him playing the fourth quarter. I mean, I know it's a hypothetical, but
Yeah,
it's just something
yeah,
to think
but
about.
he would average more for sure. He would be having more players, more plays, and I think Nicola this season had to play more fourth quarters than him for sure. So I think he played a lot of fourths, a lot of the time until even they played OT a lot of times
Yeah,
because they needed him.
they needed him
So he's gonna
100%.
have more time for that. But I guess moving on from MVP, anything else to say? Well, well, just because out of curiosity, who do you think would have been third? Like obviously we have Shea, Nicola, and third.
That's
I
a
have
good
a guy in my
question.
head, but I'm not sure if it's the same guy.
You know what? Go ahead. Tell me who you're thinking about because I was trying to
Dang.
have a list of three and I was struggling with the third one. Who did you end up going with?
And the thing is, I don't know stats like for that specific for these two players that I've thought about it, but
That's
just on
totally
the eye
fine.
test and even the record of the player of their team, I kind of base it off on that. So you probably already know who I'm gonna say. I was stuck between. I was kind of stuck between JT or Giannis, but I'm gonna say Giannis.
Oh, uh-huh.
In my opinion, Giannis would have got third. But then after that, I don't know who follows after that, to be honest. Because I mean, JT might be like seventh. But JT, I feel like his team is doing so good, and people aren't really thinking about him. They're just like, oh. And I think he says cringy things here and there, but he's still a great player. JT's still good, right? It's not like he's like ass, compared to the players.
Right.
But I don't know what you think of that. Like,
He's like the opposite of Shea in the way that people always are glazing Shea because he has aura, and people are doing
I
the
haven't thinking too
opposite,
about her.
like hating on Tatum because he doesn't have aura, but he tries to have aura.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
it was a big spotlight. Like, we did it, we did it. And then the Olympics, he
We
didn't
did it.
play,
We did it.
and he didn't win Finals MVP. So it's like a big. But at the
What are
same
they
time,
gonna say now?
yeah, what they
Sorry,
gonna say now? Copying Curry from
gonna
like 2 years
say
ago.
now.
Like, bro, we just heard this 2 years ago.
That shit was hella funny.
Like
I
at least
wasn't it the year before? No, 2 years ago. It was
two
2
years
years ago.
ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause
Like
Denver
at
won
least
before that.
when he was copying Kevin Garnett, like at least it was like 20. It
Nothing's
was in 2008, so
impossible.
like a while back. But with the Curry, it was like 2 years ago. But
Two
I mean,
years
again,
ago.
I don't want to hate on him because he's a really good player, and I feel like all
Gonna
this
say.
hate kind
Yeah.
of making him a little bit underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Saying that he's underrated, and it's true. He's getting to that the
And they just
feeling
want
of
to
like
chip.
people aren't talking to him. Yeah, they just won. What did Giannis say a few years ago? He's like when he said, "I think the best fitter is Stephen Curry because is the one who led their team to the NBA final the year before." So with that mentality for Giannis's head, I guess JT's the best player because I guess Jalen Brown did win the Finals MVP, but it's
Right.
JT's team, so.
But JT was like the more consistent number one option throughout the whole year.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna say that year Andre won it. Oh, that was Andre Iguodala's team. I don't think so, right? Would you?
That's a good point. No, no, you wouldn't say that like at all. You'd be crazy. But
You're
there's
like,
people out there
yeah.
like Max Kellerman. They'll take Iggy to take
I want
the shot at.
Iguodala.
I want Iguodala. So right, maybe some people do think that it was his team,
The aliens
but
pointing a death beam. Wait, what is it? Pointing at Earth. You go one through one way, one three, one shot. You gotta hit it. I want Iguodala.
I'm thinking
That's right.
Iguodala.
And the guy in the back was just dying. It was funny. But anyways, for you,
Giannis,
you never
by the
said
way,
who'd
just
you
to
third.
I think I would have Giannis. Now that I think about it, he's averaging. I
Ooh,
pulled it
but
up
who were
here.
you thinking before?
I was thinking Giannis.
Oh, go ahead.
I was,
Really?
but he's
Okay.
averaging 30 points a game, 12 rebounds, and 6.5 assists, and
Wait, say it again. 30 points per game.
12 rebounds and 6 assists, 6.5, which is crazy numbers. And he only played 67
30
games,
times.
which if he played
That's
three
crazy.
less games, he wouldn't even be eligible,
That's crazy.
which is with the new
I
rule,
mean,
which is
and that's what's
insane.
interesting, right? And I want to talk to you about that before because we're gonna probably get to that later. But like for some players, I don't want to say like exactly like they're like oh they're gonna win it or like Jared McCain, right, for Rookie of the Year. He was gonna win it. In my opinion, he was doing good. This team was getting better because he was doing really good. Obviously, Paul George, and Joel Embiid, all that stuff, right? But like, is that too much? You think they should lower the cap or like I don't know. I mean, they got injured. He got injured, so it's like whatever, right? But
I feel like it should be
I don't know how you
circumstantial
feel.
because,
Okay.
like in 2015,
Mm.
the rookie of the year was Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm
Uh,
Brogdon, and I think he's
oh
still
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah. I
league.
know.
I'm not even sure if he's still in the league,
I
but
think he is. I think he's
like
on
for the Trailblazers, right?
Celtics. Trailblazers.
Maybe.
I think you're right. I
But
will look it up later.
the thing is that Joel Embiid, he was a rookie that year
Mhm.
too, and that year Joel Embiid only played like 35 games, but he was like by far the best player in the rookie class.
Mm.
And they ended up giving it to Malcolm because of the games. And back then, the game thing wasn't even a rule. So I
He's
think,
playing
in
for
my
the Wizards,
opinion,
by the way.
oh, he's in the Wizards. Thank you for checking.
Apparently.
That's why I don't know. That's why I don't hear about him. I don't even watch any Wizards games.
We
But
know Jordan Poole.
oh yeah, we know him and Middleton.
You guys probably know what's our favorite team by that. Oh, we didn't even say our favorite teams, bro.
That's right.
Actually,
Maybe make him guess it.
they'll find out. They'll guess it later. Two each.
Oh yeah, two each.
But what were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, it's okay. So I think it should just be circumstantial. Like it shouldn't be a set games that you have to play, but it should be because say that you play 64 games and you averaging crazy points, but then you only like what should be the difference between playing 64 games and 65 that makes you ineligible and eligible? It should just be circumstantial. I feel like if your impact is
Yeah,
that big and you only play 58 games, they should give it to you. I think obviously if it gets like
yeah.
you play 32 games, well, that's not even the third of a season, but
I could see it like change to like it's gonna be like the still limit. You have to play at least 60, maybe 60 games, and then they're gonna be like, but if you have such a big impact, they're probably like at least half the season you have to play. Maybe that's where they'll make the circumstantial. Like if like Jared McCain in the first half of the season he did so well, And let's see, then he got. I don't know how many games he got to play, but then
It
then
says he
then
played
maybe.
only
But then it,
23 games, which isn't
yeah.
that
So then
insane? I
never
feel
mind.
like he played a lot more than that.
I felt like he played amazing, and I was rooting for him. He got drafted. I was like, I like this kid. Let's see what he can do. And he was doing really good. So
He was really
Jared McCain
relatable.
stand over here. I actually watched his videos too, his YouTube videos. So Jared McCain, I love you, bro. Wait, not like that though. I'm not. I don't really roll that way.
I know.
But anyways, I guess we can move on from that MVP talk. I know it's longer, but it's MVP, so
It's a
we'll
big one.
see. Maybe we might be wrong. You never know, but it seems like Shay's
Right.
gonna win it.
And I feel like it's not really about predicting here. We just,
Nah.
because if we wanted to predict, we could just go to the odds and give like the top one in
Yeah.
every. But like this, I feel like we're just giving like our opinion on it, and you know, maybe we give some love
Yeah,
to some
kind of.
people that don't get love.
Yeah, of course. Kind of
But
like who we think kind of, and maybe how just in general what people think that they're gonna get it, or how we feel who deserves it too.
right,
And saying that, I guess we can move on to the next one. I'm thinking we could go. We could do rookie.
yeah, I'm down
You
for
think you
rookie.
want to do that?
Yeah. So
And then
since you
after
gave your
that, I have
rookie,
another one.
let me give my rookie first.
That's what I was
So
gonna ask you. So, who's your rookie of the year?
let
Which
me
we all know, or actually we don't know. We'll see.
let me pull up
Go ahead.
his stats right here. My rookie of the
I don't know
year,
his. I don't know this guy's stats either, but
Stefan Castle, 14.6 points per game,
from San Antonio.
3.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and played 80 games.
He played 80 games.
He only missed 2 games.
What? That's actually crazy. I did not. I actually didn't know he played that many games. What the heck? Oh,
So
because and what was his position again?
he's a point guard.
Point guard. I
Oop.
thought for some reason I thought he was a small forward. For some reason,
Let me
yeah, it
double
makes sense.
check.
He's
I
a
think
point
he's a
guard.
point guard. I don't. Yeah, he's a
You're
point
no,
guard.
I think you're right.
And I think what helps him. Oh well, you know what? It says here he's 6'6", so it makes sense that you thought he was a little bit played a different
Yeah, because he's a
position.
bigger. Wow, he's born
Six.
November 1st, 2004.
I can't believe I'm talking about someone in the NBA who's younger than me. Dude.
He's 20 from UConn. I think did we watch that UConn run? No, maybe.
Oh,
No, it was the year before.
it was. Oh yeah, it was the year before.
Mm,
Me and by
because
the
it was
way,
our
yeah, it was our first time, like one of our first times watching college basketball, and me and Josie thought that the next best player was gonna be. I have it here, Ad- Adama Sanogo. We thought he was the real deal.
Where is he now? Adonis Sanogo. We thought he was a real deal, bro. We thought, well,
You know
we're
what?
about to
That's
find
actually
out.
pretty fun. Let's see if he still plays. Um, he is
Adonis
averaging.
Sanogo?
He played 4 games this season. He's averaging
What?
2 points, 1.5 rebounds, and point 0.3 assists. And he plays for the Chicago Bulls.
How many minutes is he getting?
He only played 4 games, and he played
Oh, what?
5.3 minutes per game.
Is he injured or?
I think he's in the G League. I think like he's just not there right now. Like at that point in his career.
Dang.
And he's already 23,
Yeah,
so he's our age. He is 2 days
2002.
older than I am.
That's freaking crazy.
So you know what?
Well,
Shout out to
Stefan
him.
Castle's birthday November 1st.
Oh,
4 days
so
before
close to
mine,
him.
but 2 years apart. Crazy. That's actually insane, bro. That's
But
fucking
anyways,
crazy, bro.
like
We're
coming
hit, we're
back,
hitting on status.
we're getting excited.
Fuck. Anyways,
Going
anyways,
back
anyways, anyways.
from that tangent,
Rookie of the year. What else?
Stefan Castle, I
Why?
think it really benefited him playing with Chris Paul. To be honest,
Mm. Hmm.
Chris Paul, a veteran point guard, he's still good at his age, even though a little bit slower, maybe not as good defensively, but that's okay. You don't expect that from him anymore. But man, probably really good in the locker room, and I can imagine him teaching like the point god teaching Stefan Castle
Crazy.
all just little tips, like when he sees how he practices, he sees how he conducts himself, and I feel like stuff like that really come in a long way when you're a rookie and you're looking for a mentor.
Because I think like when you come into like anything, right? You're always like you don't know what you're doing. You know, you have an idea of like what you're getting yourself into, but you don't know exactly what it is. You know, like little tidbits like recovery, your diet, just how the lifestyle is. I think as a little rookie, in anything, but mainly like in the NBA, you're learning like the traveling schedule, how to get from different places, how like you said, like I was saying, recovering and all that stuff. Like I think that helped him a lot. Like you said, I mean, he's young, what 20 years old? That's insane. And that pair up with Wemby might might become what a good pair. You know, it might they might tear up the league, and one day maybe another extra piece would help. Obviously, I think they still need help. I mean, clearly, right? But when Victor was
I
doing
mean,
good, I mean,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If Victor played, I feel like they low key would have been
they would have.
in the
You think they would have
play-in.
made it to the playoffs?
I
The play
think
in
they
at
would have
least.
gone
You
in
think they would have been? It
Sacramento
would have been above
anyway.
Sacramento and at
I think
Mavs.
so. Yeah, if the Mavs, because they traded Luca, 100%. I think at least, but you never know, right? Because let me
That's
search
crazy.
how many games they won this season. The San Antonio
Go ahead, go ahead.
Spurs.
While you do that, you know what's it is crazy though. If they win, if let's say the Spurs get rookie, they got two back-to-back rookie of the years. That's kind of crazy. If
Oh, I
Stefan
didn't
wins,
think about it
because
like that.
Wemby Wemby won it last year, so back to back.
That's true.
San Antonio is building something out there, you know, and people they're not sleeping on him. I mean, Victor's known as kind of one of the best players in the league. Kind of. Did he get
Already.
he was All Stars, right? He got All Star this year.
And he would have been Defensive Player of the Year, and he would have made an All NBA team.
We'll talk about that right now, but I'll Victor's the difference, dude. What confirmed to me about Victor, I don't know this is a tangent, was that Olympic run. After that, obviously after the first season, I think after you know what, I just got back from a plane in Mexico, so I was traveling back home from Mexico, traveled back here from visiting, and I saw the highlights. And I remember I landed from the plane. The first thing I got was a clip of Victor blocking Giannis on the rim, and I was like, "Oh, good man, maybe this guy's real." Because I think that was his first or second time meeting Giannis. And I was like, "Damn, bro, this guy at 19 did this thing to Giannis." I was like, "Ah, man." So
I know,
I
man.
don't
You
know.
see
I
the
don't know.
potential in
Victor's.
him. He's really long paws. He's really tall. So like,
Hey
I feel
yo,
like,
sorry,
I feel like he has a
very
lot
long and
of
sticky.
potential, man. But but you know,
Hey yo.
back to his
Yeah.
teammate, I think he
Oh
deserves
yeah.
Rookie of the Year. But oh yeah, just to get back to that, the San Antonio Spurs won 33 games. And I feel like with Vic, because how much did
At
Sacramento
least
win? How many games did Sacramento
39.
win?
I think
Yeah,
39.
6 more wins, 7 more wins. Yeah, Vic could have easily.
So you think play it first? That would be crazy. Second season already in playing and maybe a playoff spot. Maybe you never know because those games are
Yeah,
like
you
a
never know.
tournament. It's just like you win, lose, you're done, or you're in.
And you have
And
Chris
they would
Paul
have to
there
win
to
two.
anchor your team. I feel like they would have been good.
Damn, you think Chris will stay? At least that's crazy. So, like Chris, my boy, you know Chris, yeah, my boy
He
Chris from
might
down the street. You think he'll
retire,
stay
man.
this season?
I
Like
feel
after
like he's
today?
the type to like just retire like that without making it known. Just
Yeah, because he
just
he knows because like someone like Steph, right? They're and LeBron, they're kind of. I guess LeBron doesn't care, you know. But like these players, I feel like they would go on that fairy tale ending kind of Kobe way of like,
sorry, let me
I'm
interrupt you.
retiring. This is my last season.
LeBron cares. He's just trying to
LeBron
be
cares, you
nonchalant.
think?
100%. 100%.
Well,
He's trying to
LeBron
be not.
says he's
He's
like,
like,
I might just
I'm not
retire.
retired. I might retire. I might not. I might not. I might not. Tell nobody. So it's a farewell tour. Nah, man. He wants 100%. He's just
Low
being.
key, huh? Because everywhere he goes, LeBron. Bro, what about Steph though? Would he do that? Because Steph, I don't know. He's 50-50. I think he would also, but
Yeah, I feel like out of respect because just he would do it like for I don't want to glaze him, but he would do it for the fans because he knows that we want like a last chance to really take it all
to
in.
like go watch him. Dude, how was that like though? Like that Kobe Bryant farewell when people knew this is the last time Kobe's gonna play in my building. I wonder what that was like. Like I'm actually
Right.
curious. I wish I was there.
You
I
know
wish I was a
what?
fan back then, just so I
That's
can
like
see.
I think that was the first season that I started watching basketball. So
Hmm.
I caught like the back end of Kobe's career, like the really back end, like his last season. Um,
Hmm.
and I just remember his last game. He scored how many points? Like 60 some,
That's
right? I think
62. Was it more? 80? Not 82. I'm tripping, right?
No. That was his
That was his
2017. But
peak. That was
well, anyways, but yeah, like I feel that LeBron and he does is gonna want a farewell tour, and on the other hand, Chris Paul probably not. But maybe because he's not like that. I don't want to be rude, but he's not like that
hmm
caliber. So like everyone would be excited and they
It
would
was
give him
60
his
points.
flowers.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, 60 points.
Yeah, it's for LeBron. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would. He would. And that, you know what's gonna hit when he goes against the Cavs, and then when he goes against Miami, and for sure is like the Golden State Warriors. That's gonna hit because you
Oh,
can
that's
say all you
crazy,
want,
man.
even though Golden State hates, Golden State hates LeBron, but you know people still love him. For giving all those years. I mean, blocked by Iguodala is gonna be iconic. I hate that, but or my wait, no, what the fuck? Blocked by James. Sorry, I think I said it wrong.
Damn, I was like, damn that.
You didn't even
Chavo
catch
Sotelo
that.
universe.
Maybe it was another universe, bro.
But who's your rookie
But
of the year?
yeah, I know. I was gonna say. So I think it's Jared McCain. No, obviously Stefan Castle. I thought the same thing as you. I swear. You might think I'm joking, but I literally have it in my notes right here.
I believe
Stefan
it. I believe it.
Castle.
I see all the work they do.
Um, yeah. I thought the same thing as you. I just thought like he just played so good, and it felt like this was his second season, kind of. I didn't really feel watching him play and hearing, but just watching because I got to watch the Spurs a lot mainly because of Wemby. But watching him play, I thought he's been in the league at least 2 years, maybe even three. It felt like he knew what he was doing, and then I found out, wait, I forgot this guy's a rookie. So that right away gave me like, okay, the eye test, he passed that. The stats are kind of saying he's good, or saying he's especially for first season. What is it, 14, 3, 4 from 43% from the field? That's pretty good.
That's good,
So
man. And you know
as
what?
a
People were
rookie, like,
saying, yeah,
mhm,
as a rookie, that's really good. And people were saying, this draft class was weak. I don't know if you remember. And to be fair,
yeah,
they have a they have a point because they don't have a Victor, they don't have a Kate
nah,
Cunningham, a Paulo Banquero, which these are like the
Paulo
last three.
Banchero, that one was
Um,
stacked.
that was
A
stacked.
Zion,
They don't have a Zion, a Luca, but at least not
Luca
yet.
was
They might like later
that
on
Luca
someone
trade,
from this
bro.
draft
We can't
class.
even talk about that because that happened a long time ago. But sorry, go
I
ahead.
know that Luca trade, man. Every time I think about it, it still messes with my head. But yeah, like this draft class, it may not have all that, but it has a lot of solid NBA players that just came in ready to play, like ready to attribute to their role.
And do you think that's just like natural, like it just happened, or because maybe just like I don't know, maybe it's the art that's this is hitting our generation who got to watch a lot of these players play, but I feel like these players, I feel like they're more prepared now. You know what I mean? Even though not for everything, but they might come in already kind of knowing, because like even college basketball is getting higher, like better. They got better training and all this stuff. Like
Now you could get
I don't
paid
know.
to play college.
I didn't. I when they just started doing that? How long ago?
Yeah, I think they just started doing this the NIL deal or something like that. Like now you can, because
Oh,
remember when we were seniors in high school, that was a big discussion. Uh,
it was controversial. Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
yeah.
watch it like
It
in
was like they didn't
economy
want
class.
to. Yeah, econ. Was it for college as well? Football?
Right. It was for football,
It
basketball,
was
like
for
all the
both.
NCAA,
And then they got paid now. They're
and
getting
now
that
they're actually
bread. I
getting
mean, they
paid.
deserve it. They make a
Because
lot of
now,
money. These.
yeah, now if you're like a second round NBA player, and you're thinking, I could go to the NBA and make like 500K per year, or I could stay in college. I'm good here. This is my team. They're paying me 2 million a year. I'm just gonna stay. Now you're running the risk
And
of
you know what?
maybe not making the NBA because you might get injured or
hmm
something like that might happen. But
hmm
you're making generational wealth in college.
And and that helps the students, not the students, these players, to develop more. I think them staying in college, and I think I've been seeing more often like players are coming into the league a little bit older. Like even like Jaime Jaquez, right? He was I think last year, right? This is his second year, right? I
Yeah.
think so. Or is
Mhm.
this his first year? He like came in, well, he's older, right? He's probably 23,
Yeah,
22.
23, 24. No, let me
So
see.
yeah, because he came from UCLA. I don't know that
Jaime
much.
Jaquez.
And he came as like a senior, I think. So which I think it helps him like he came in and I think he got like top 10 rookie, I think top 10, right? I think he was top 5. Obviously Victor won it last year, but like even that saying that like
His
that,
nickname? You
I
want to
think they've
guess
been
his nickname?
developing better. El burrito. Chimichanga.
Juan Wick.
What is it? Nah, that's actually okay. We need to save that and send it to one of our friends. That's crazy.
We have
But
a friend who he has similar hairstyle to Keanu Reeves, and his name is Juan. Juan
we
Wick.
might pop it here right here later. Um, we'll pop it in later. Now, but
So it's funny
back to the
that
thing.
that's his
Oh,
name,
go ahead.
Juan Wick, and his name is Jaime, bro.
Bro, remember they called me Juan? Remember when I went up to like to stand with the I told you so I went on a camping trip and I was standing there and then we had to name it so each kid would go up there, each boy it was all boys camp and we had to say like the name we're like we gotta make up a name for them, a nickname for the weekend or for the week, right? My cousin went, he had curly hair, they're like curly fries. I was like, oh sick. And then there was another guy that went and he called him like I don't know, maybe because he was tall, like a basketball player name or something. Then I went up and I was like, there, and they're all like, this white kid. He was all like, Juan. I was like, bro, what the fuck? That's not a nickname. That's just
First of
someone
all,
else's name. That's just
that's
another Mexican name, bro.
that's not a nickname,
I was like,
and that's like another Mexican name.
Loki now I think it's kind of racist, but it
Like,
is
bro,
what it
my
is.
name's
He was cool
already
though.
Jose. Like, what are you trying to change my
I'm
name
like,
to?
my name's Jose, bro. Like, you guys could have, come on, bro. My cousin was just like, I'm gonna just call you your name. I was like, oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. He's a
Nice.
go. He's a go.
You know what?
But
Before we
back
get
to
back
like,
into it, I also
oh,
have a little story.
oh shit.
People always my name is Jesus, but people always call me Jose. Just because I guess they're common names,
What?
Juan, Jose, Jesus. You know how
Juan
everyone
Jose
calls me.
Jesus. We don't have a. I would say we don't have a Juan in our friend group, but we do.
We do. We have a Juan, Jose, and a Jesus.
We have two actually, and
Two
two
Jesus.
Jesuses. We have one Jose. That's crazy. That's
That
actually
is
crazy.
crazy to think about it.
Maybe you never know. Maybe soon now.
But I go
But
by Valentin
you know,
because that's my middle name, by the way.
I don't go by my middle name because nobody's gotta know. Maybe in the future.
There you
But
go.
yeah, back to kind of this. Like, yeah, that's the reason that's Stefan Castle. I was thinking of him too. So yeah, you kind of beat me to it. But yeah, I thought the exact same thing. Just like the same thing with the Chris Paul stuff. Like, I think you got really well trained, and playing with Victor too. I think might help too. And I think they were really looking for a point guard. Like even last year, everyone said that because who was it? It was Soham playing the guard position, I think, or someone
Right.
else. They were just missing a point guard or
Or
Vassell.
Devin
I think it
Vassell
was
too.
Vassell. Yeah, I think it was playing, and they said that a lot of people were saying like Victor needs a good point guard, and you know what? Like
Because they
Stephen
would he
Castle
would be
did
wide
really
open and
well.
nobody would pass him the ball. He would literally be like he would be like
Even posted,
and then Devin Vassell was like
there
bro,
was like
pass one me the ball.
that jump shot was perfect. Nah, he was like,
But
I'm
that's why
Steph,
they
bro.
got
Don't
Chris
worry.
Paul
Oh,
in
he was like,
center.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true from the worst. That interesting trade. That was interesting. But yeah, you're right. They did some. But moving on from that, I guess you can go to there's still a couple more rewards, so
Yes,
gotta
you're right.
get into. Do you know which one you want to get into? I guess you get to
Uh,
pick.
yeah, I guess we talked about rookie of the year already. I think we should get. You know what? I'm gonna say let's say this one a little bit for a little bit later. Let's get into coach of the year. This one's interesting because I don't think there was like
And
a. I don't think there's this
there's
one. There's
there's
no wrong
no
answers.
there's no wrong answer. I
I
think there's a
mean,
lot of right
the Jazz
answers.
not gonna win
Steve
coach of the
Kerr.
year. Give me your real answer.
Nah, you want me? Well, want me to give you my answer? Oh, do I go first? Okay, yeah, we'll go back and forth. For me, in my opinion, coach of the year, two. There's two that I was on. I'm gonna tell you my honorable mention. I think first, my honorable mention was Kenny Atkinson in the Cleveland Cavaliers, but my pick for coach of the year, and maybe a little bit of bias, I'm not gonna lie, JJ Redick. My reason is because
Oh, I like
he
it.
came in and they got the third seed. The Lakers were known to, with the Warriors, we would always get like the play-in. We just saw what happened, but always a play-in. They were kind of stuck there, since 2020, right? They won in 2020, so they didn't have they had good seasons, but they didn't really have like that. They didn't. Really, I don't think they got any top three seeding. At least I don't think so, right? Um, but in saying that, I really think JJ deserved it. I think he was able to make this team really cohesive and they worked really well. And even after the trade, like people don't consider this, but when you get a big star, sometimes it's not easy for a coach and like even the coaching staff in general to like make a good cohesive team. But with Luca, he managed to do it. So
And
that's
halfway
another
through the
thing for me.
season too. It's
But
not like he got a whole season to work with him.
yeah, yeah, it was just right away. Halfway through the season, boom, Luka trade happened. I was like, what the? And then
They
he
won
has to,
50 games. They're the
and he
third
lost
seed.
AD too. People don't talk about that. Exactly. They got the third seed, first season as well as a coach, right, in the NBA.
Right.
I don't. It's just crazy to me. That's another factor. I was like, this is his first season. So for me, I think JJ deserved it. I kind of wanted that podcast Mind the Game to keep going on because I freaking enjoyed that podcast. But then they stopped recording. I was like, what's going on? And then he comes out as head coach. I was like, oh, it was just an interview. Okay, wow, that's crazy.
And that's what everyone was saying.
Um,
LeBron was like, I had nothing to do with it, bro.
Val was telling me you knew for a long time. You're like, watch him come out as a head coach or something like that.
Because he's so smart,
It
man.
ended up
You
happening.
could just see it on writing on the wall. And I thought it was a mistake. Not because I didn't like JJ, but because I thought it was a mistake for
Wow.
him. Because I was like, man,
Hmm.
I feel like he has so much potential to be a good coach, and they're just gonna throw him under the bus if this season goes wrong. But you know, he stepped up to the plate and he been a really good coach. And I like this because you know what? I thought that it was that JJ Redick is a really like fun answer because I didn't think
Okay.
you were gonna have him to be fair, but I really like it because you're
Oh
showing
wow.
love to him
Yeah.
and I really like that. And you have a good point. The new player acquisition halfway through the season, and you make a good point that they lost Anthony Davis. He had to
Hmm.
redo his whole defensive scheme,
Hmm.
revolve a whole new offensive scheme around Luca. Um, but well, I mean, with that being said, I low key went boring with it. Kenny Atkinson won my coach of the year.
Hey, I said honorable mention, so
That was honorable mention. You know
that's
what?
fair.
Look, I will say this before I talk about the Cavs. I was thinking Ime Udoka also. They went from a like an okay team last year to being the second seed in the West, the Rockets, man.
Oh, you're
And
talking about the Rockets. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
from his in the West, and Ime he was a coach for the Celtics, and the whole thing happened. He got fired, went to the Rockets, and he was like,
Hmm.
"Watch this," and he's the second seed in the West, which I think, man, that's why I was really debating against those
Insane,
two,
bro.
but I went with the Cavs
Hmm.
just because I feel like you have to give Kenny Atkinson love. Last year they were okay. They were good. No, don't get me wrong. They were a good team. But even this season, everyone was questioning or coming into the season, is Donovan Mitchell going to leave? They're not really as good as they thought they were going to be. Should Donovan Mitchell go to the Knicks? He always wants to. He always wanted to play there. Um, but you know what? Kenny Atkinson was like, you know what, bro, stay here. I got you, bro. And Darius Garland wasn't having the best season last year. This season he did. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen not don't look very complementary when you look at it on paper, but when they play together, they play so well, and their defense is so good. So I think that's a lot
Hmm.
of a lot of those props go to Kenny Atkinson.
hmm and yeah, that's a good pick. Like I also thought, Kenny Atkinson and Cleveland, 60 wins too. Like I thought about it like that. Like I was like, you know what? I wasn't pick him, but I went on a different route. But that's not a bad pick. I mean, Cleveland clearly got one of the best, and they got on such a hot start in the beginning. It was feeling like those Golden State Warrior days where it's like they might beat the record. People were just
Right,
waiting to see when
everyone
they're
was
gonna
saying
lose,
they might break the record.
which is
Couldn't happen.
crazy. Like you'd never heard that since then, right? When was that? 2016?
16.
2016, right? So after right?
Yeah, they won the
After they
chip in
got K-
2015, and then the next year they were like 73-9, and then KD joined them, so everyone was like, but to be
Hey,
fair, they
they
lost in
you got to get the
2016.
job done. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Right? But they got KD and won everything. That I mean, honestly, coach of the year. I think coach of the year every year is tricky. For me, like the easiest one in my head was the when Sacramento one with Mike Brown, right? For me, that one made sense. Like it was kind of easier to pick. I think that year, but this year I think was tricky. But we'll see who wins it. But
Yeah, this year's
I
tricky.
think we have a lot of good coaches.
But we have a lot of good coaches. Yeah, even the Pistons coach, shout out to him because they
Yeah,
lost 28 in a
Cade, the
row last
Pitchers.
season. JB JB Bickerstaff, I think is his name, but
Mhm,
they went from losing 28 straight games in a row. First of all, they paid Monty Williams 100 mil,
mhm.
which I think was like the biggest bag of coach has ever gotten.
Wait, how much?
100 mil for like 6 years. I think I might be tripping, bro. It might have been 10 mil.
That's freaking crazy.
I might be tripping, but regardless, they paid him the most
Uh-huh.
money that a coach had ever gotten, and that dude made them lose 28 straight games, and he got fired. He was probably chilling because he was like, "Oh, bro, I made my money
Mhm.
anyways." And then this new coach comes in, JB Bickerstaff, and he makes him a playoff, like a concrete playoff team, not even a play-in. So I think that deserves
Mhm.
some love too.
Nice. That's pretty crazy. Sorry, I was reading something important. My bad.
What's
I
up,
got
bro?
kind of distracted. But
So yeah, I guess coach of the year. We can move on to 6 men of the year. I had some trouble with this one too, but where do you end up going? Or
I I didn't really know. That's the one I personally struggle with. But I want to see what you picked. So I'm curious. I have two picks, but I'm not sure. But I want to see what you picked.
for me, I went with Peyton
Barney
Pritchard on the
James.
Boston Celtics.
Okay.
14.1 points per
Wow.
game, 3-point rebounds, 3.4 assists. He's just a good,
Wow.
little spark off the bench for them, and their team is really, really good. So that says
This
a
team
lot.
is
Like he come
stacked.
great five great players, your starters, and then you have Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench. That's insane. And sometimes you see him ball up with randoms in the streets.
Hmm. No, no. Wait, who paid? He does that actually?
Yeah, he'll just be like posting up like a random kid like in the Boston streets.
What the frick? Is that actually true? I need
Yeah.
to see those videos. No freaking way. What the heck? No, but that's a good pick. I'm not gonna lie, because he's one of those that I had actually funny enough on my list, to be honest, because he's a good player. Like he's a good role player, but like having him come off and or hit that freaking 50 feet, fucking whatever it is, fucking those bombs that he sometimes makes. It makes them consistently too. Actually, funny enough, he every time he be shooting like that, he goes. I'm like, is that going in? And I'm like,
I
it
know.
might. I was like, holy fuck. But for me, I guess against the sixth man, I also thought the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. I had him. I had Malik Beasley as well because I thought he just had a
Malik
good season
Beasley.
coming off the bench. But I ended up saying, you know what? I also ended up saying Payne Pritchard here. I have here that he was from deep, specifically from deep. He was shooting 40.6%. This is deep shooting. This is
Damn.
not 3 point. This is deep shooting. That's crazy. He was making 40% of those shots. Like, what is deep shooting? 30 feet out, I think. 25? Deep shooting, what is considered deep shooting?
Well, I think 25. I think the 3.9. Yeah, like 25, 24 feet. 3.9.
24 feet. So deep shooting would be like 30 and then up.
Even like 26. I
20,
think it would be kind of deep.
26
It
is
might.
deep
I don't
shooting.
know. I would have to double check.
I think 26. We'll put a total check later. But still, that's still insane. No matter what it is, that's still behind the 3.9 plus more. So that alone gave me that thing. And like you said, a good spark off the bench. I really like that as a saying because like he makes one of these bombs right as the freaking time, the shot clock is over and the time is up. No matter what, if you're losing or you're winning, that gives you an extra 3 points. So him be having the ability to do that, I think that helped the team. And I mean, clearly I'm not saying he led the team, but it helped the team to where they're at right now. With what did they finish second or third? Second, right? In the league
Um,
or in the East.
Second. Yeah, second. They
Mm,
got second.
damn, they're just a good team, man. I think Celtics are just secretly, like I mean, they were the past champions that we said, so secretly they're kind of underrated,
Yeah,
kind of, which is crazy to say for champions.
it is crazy to say for a champion, but I like this for them because they can, fly under the radar. People are kind of counting them out. Like, they won, but can they do it again? And usually, when you win a championship, you have a target on your back. But for them, they don't. So I think it helps them out. They could just come out here and like, even though teams are gonna be aware that they just won, but since they're not like they don't have that target on their
Hmm.
back, they could come out here and like punch that team in the face that they go against.
We're
Be
like
like,
they're
we're
gonna
still
prove in
here,
the
man.
playoffs, like we're that team. We're still here, and we're not going anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's 6 man of the year.
Yeah.
Not much said from there, but I guess we can move on to we have three more categories,
Yep.
and I kind of want to do a fun one because this one's really fun. I'm not gonna lie. I think you know which one I'm thinking about, or do you want to save that one for later?
You know what? Let's get into it. I think, man.
Already? Nah, nah, nah. Save it, save it, save it. I'll pick this one, and then you'll be the decider. Let's do. I want to do. Let's do most improved. Yeah.
Well, yeah, most improved. Sounds good.
And do I have to say?
Yeah, go first. I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yes. So for me, So a lot of people are saying that I've seen where Dyson Daniels. A lot of people said Dyson Daniels really had a really improved season this year, and I thought he did too. And I was looking at his stats, and he clearly has gone way better than before. But what I picked was Cade Cunningham, and it might be some bias, but last season the Detroit Pistons were, you know, can argue atrocious. I mean, he even has that clip of he's saying, what did he say? He's like, we're not 20 or 0 and 20 something bad or whatever he said. I think how much was this losing streak? 26 losses,
28 in a
something
row.
like that. He says he's like he literally said we're not 0 and 20 because at the time I think it was 27 or 28, maybe it was 28. He's like we're not 0-28 bad. And you even see the pictures of people with the bags, right? So like for me, it's crazy that that team, which got to where they're at right now. I mean, they're in the playoffs. I think they got sixth, right, in the East.
Um,
I think they made it.
I think they made they yeah, they're not in the play in. They're in the playoffs 100%.
They're in the playoffs. I don't know which position,
I
but
think
they're in the
I
playoffs.
think they're
That's
sixth.
crazy.
I think
And
is
then Cade got an All Star selection as well. So to me, that was like to me, that's the definition of most improved, in my opinion. Like I mean, he made it to an All Star. Like that's something, you know. Um, so for me, I that's the reason I said Cade. I think Cade, and he has, and it makes sense. This is what, third season as well,
yeah,
maybe fourth season.
third season or fourth. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think fourth. But I mean, look, now that I don't agree, look, the way that they
Hmm.
give this award out now, I think you're right.
Hmm.
Cade deserves it,
Hmm.
but I don't like the way that this award is headed because
Hmm.
what's happening is that if you get drafted high in the lottery, like 1 through 5,
Hmm. Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah.
you're expected to be good. And your rookie year, yes, everybody like you're obviously gonna get better from your rookie year to your second year to your third year. So,
Hmm.
and I feel like if you're at that steady pace going up, you shouldn't be winning most improved. Like you're
Hmm.
supposed to be this good. You're the
Hmm.
first pick.
Hmm.
You're
Like.
supposed to get have this potential.
Mhm.
But I think because look, like there's some cases where it makes sense. Like Victor Oladipo, he was the second pick right back in the day, and he
Mhm.
was ass, not ass, but he wasn't good. He was like a role player for most of his career, and then like his
Wow.
fifth,
Mhm.
sixth year in the league, he blossomed to like all star level, and that's where okay,
Mhm.
even though he was the second pick, he didn't show to have that potential throughout his first couple of years, so he deserves it. But someone like Cade
Mhm.
has been showing the whole time, I'm getting there,
Mhm.
I'm getting there. Now
Mhm.
he's here, but
Mhm.
it's like he's
Mhm.
supposed to be here.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. But I can argue against it
That makes
because
me. Mhm.
I mean because he
Yeah,
does
and
deserve it
I'm,
if they're doing it this
and
way.
you saying that, I'm curious then who you pick then, because that is interesting. No, because I've heard that take. Like I've heard that take too of like you're in top five, top 10, and you're supposed to be good. So like obviously you can improve. It's not like you won't, but if you're already coming off the bat, let's say you win Rookie of the Year, and then maybe in 2 years you win Most Improved. Yeah, that makes sense. I kind of get that. So I'm curious who you picked then. Like who did you pick?
Yeah, I picked here 6 man of the year. I mean MIP,
Or Most Improved?
most improved. I gave it to Austin Reeves
Ooh, whoa, that's a good one.
because how old is
Wow,
Austin Reeves? Like
really?
26.
Probably like 26, 25. He's about to hit his prime physically.
He's somebody who was drafted, and he might hit, he might not hit. He's gonna be an okay role player, and to coming in and now this season he's averaging 20 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.8 assists, being like the third best player on the Lakers. On the Lakers.
I mean,
So I think that's the type of player that deserves it. Somebody who is like a for me MIP. Here's the best way I could put it: an underdog deserves
hmm,
MIP. You don't deserve.
hmm,
You're not projected to be this good, and then you take that jump to be that good.
hmm, hmm. You just like improve. Like you're like in the back end, almost like kind of like Jokic was.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's a good one. That's a really good one though. I'm not gonna lie, Austin Reeves. Like I thought about him, but because to me in my head, I thought he's been good for a while, but I guess stats. I should have been checking this out, but I guess yeah, this season it must have been going off because you're right. This season he's been in a lot of clutch moments. Like they've been trusting him more too. Like he's been getting, I feel like, more trust, and he's been always popping. Every time I watch him play, honestly, he's always played really good. So you're right. I think he would deserve it, but we'll see who's gonna get it. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see who gets it. Like I mean, and like I like Kate as an answer. Austin Reeves, even who did you say?
Yeah, yeah. I said a Dyson Daniels
Dyson
too.
Daniels. I think he's the favorite right now.
Oh,
Which
okay.
wouldn't be bad either. I mean, he's not like he's
Yeah,
not like a household name, but he does deserve it as well.
he just was able to improve. I think that's kind of what I mean. That's what it's about, really. But do you want to move on to the last two? We have two more, which
Yeah,
are
let's move on to.
interesting.
Let me see. We
Do you want
just
to do
did
clutch,
most improved. Yeah, let's just get clutch out of the way so we can leave the good one.
and then the good one is crazy.
To the
Go.
end.
Well, what did you pick for clutch? I want to see. I want to see your bias. I'm curious. Because clutch
Okay,
one for me was a little hard because I saw a lot of clutch, but I wasn't too sure. So
I'm not gonna lie.
go ahead.
Just to get some context, this is Sunday. This is today's Sunday, the last day of the regular season, and the person that
Oh
I
no.
have on my clutch player, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna change it if the game that I was watching went a little differently. I was watching the Warriors versus
Oh,
the
I know.
Clippers, and if Steph, because he was being clutch, but if Steph won that game, got it out the gutter for them, I think I would have changed my answer and gave it to him. But
Wow. The back-to-back clutch player of the years.
yeah, I think so. But
Ooh.
they didn't end up winning the game, and plus probably for the better because it would have been it like would have been recency bias 100%.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
gave
Literally 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago. I gave it to my boy. You were talking about it earlier. How he's clutch. His team needs him in the fourth, and Nikola Jokic.
Okay. I thought I guessed it. Okay. Nicola, yeah.
He needs
Do you want to
he
give a little bit about that?
his
Just
team needs him in the fourth quarter. I mean, let's be real. His team needs him every quarter, but he just
you know
comes
in
out there.
OT, OT2.
He has one of those shots where you can't stop it. Where if he wants to get his shot off, he's gonna get it off no matter what. And that's one of the perks
Bro,
of being 7 feet
just
tall.
he's just like
Yeah, he shoots it like from back here, just like
dude,
that.
that's actually crazy, bro. I wonder what Kobe would have said if he played like against him like defensively. Because Kobe was a mastermind of defense. He said he couldn't really figure out KD. I wonder what about Jokic? Like,
That would have
you
been
think he
really
would have been able
fun
to figure?
to see what he was
Yeah,
to see what he would talk about now. How he would talk about these players now.
I know, Conti. So, man, it would
Rest
have
in
been
peace to
so
the Mamba.
interesting. Rest in peace. I know that's your favorite player, right?
One of my favorite players, 100%. One of the ones that got me into the basketball game. Even though I caught the tail end of his career, but I would go watch the highlights and stuff like that.
Nah, Nicola though, like that's a good one. For me, I guess mine, I don't know if I'll go into it now, but for me, honestly, it was I thought Nicola too. But I also had Jalen Brunson. And that was mostly basically just because Jalen had a lot of good stats in the fourth and he was really there and helping the team, lock in those final wins because like, he was there for those wins. But like I said earlier too, with like when we were talking about that, yeah, like they need him to. I mean, you said they have to play. They need him in almost every quarter, but I feel like he was really clutch when he played, and when he didn't play, they wouldn't be doing the best. Obviously, it doesn't help that they don't have some players, right? But he was the guy they'll give the ball to. The amount of shots he made this season that were just like literally the shot clock ended, even if it wasn't that great, he would make them. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then like the final 2-3 minutes of the game. So I mean, I would give it. I was also thinking Nicola. I had it literally right here. So Nicola or Jalen, but I
Yeah,
ended up
Jalen Brunson.
thinking Nicola.
You know what? Yeah, I feel like Jalen Brunson. I think he's the favorite in the. He had the he's a favorite when it comes to the odds.
He's still
So
favorite.
I think so. So I feel like I am doing him like an injustice. Like I didn't even mention him, so I'm happy that you brought him up. Because you're right,
Mhm.
he does deserve the credit for that too. But I mean, maybe I was just piggybacking off the whole like MVP thing for Jokic, and I feel like the most valuable player or one of the most valuable players and that it just translates that he's one of the most valuable in the fourth quarter as well
Yes, but in the clutch.
in the
So,
clutch. Yeah.
well, clutch player of the year. That's what we got, Nikola Jokic.
Now for
The
the one that
last
we've
one,
been waiting for.
oh, I'm just kidding.
Which is
I'm
funny that we're
impeding,
so excited about
but
defensive player of the year.
I know that's kind of crazy. Let's get it off the way though. Like Victor, second season winning it would have been crazy. Like
No, we're not getting
he
it
was
every
gonna
week.
win
I
it.
gave it to Wemby, bro. I don't care. He only played 30 games. I'm giving it
Yeah, you mean dead ass.
to him. No. But man, I really wanted to,
Ah,
bro.
fuck, dude. It's because like Wemby was oh my god, defensively he was insane. Like the fact that they wouldn't shoot like they way he would just cover so much ground in the space of seconds is insane. You've probably seen the clips where he's on the wing, right? And then he notices a guy coming into the paint. He's gonna go do help defense in the paint now, or there's something like that. And then he can still get back to the wing if he needs to with like one step and a reach. That's insane. You know how crazy that is? They don't know what they're like. I could either shoot this or, and he just breaks up, offensive schemes just by being in the lineup, which is crazy. So
Right, just
Victor would have
the
clearly got
player
it.
seeing him in the paint, man. If a player sees him in the paint, they get scared off, man, because just
They're like,
his presence.
hell,
Because imagine
yeah.
seeing a 7'4" guy there, and I'm not gonna go attack the basket. Which is crazy that
Like
him
the
and
amount of
Gobert
times
were
the
the same team for the France Olympics.
defensively, I wonder how good they were. I never really paid attention defensive wise, but I mean, they had such good rotation. They were on the on the court at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Or no?
I think you know what? If I remember correctly, there was some controversy because sometimes they would sit down Gobert because Wemby did better
Mm,
at the center position. So it was kind of like less
uh,
talent on the floor, but it's better for a star player type of thing, like addition by
and I think
subtraction.
I think and I think it's better because in the with the rotation, having Goldberg come off the bench with the second rotation or whatever, that's not bad. Kind of like what Chris Paul. I don't know if Chris Paul started, in the league every game. I'm assuming maybe because he played all 82 games. Actually, I don't know if you know.
Well,
He
he
played
played all
all the
82.
games this season, all 82 this season, confirmed today,
Man,
which is insane. I'm like, in his year 20 is crazy. Every game he played without fail. So honestly, respect for him. 82 out of 82. If this guy can play 82 fucking games, like, come on, bro. A 20-year-old rookie, 22-year-old, you guys can play, bro. Come on. This guy's
right.
literally about to hit 40.
And I'm surprised because
You
Chris
know,
Paul, his whole career has been having these injury problems where he never really plays the whole season. So I'm happy that he's
yeah.
finally healthy. I think he mentioned he changed like a couple years ago. He changed to a vegan diet, and he said that helped him a lot. I'm not sure
Really?
if he's still on it, but interesting.
Maybe we should be vegans. I just ate some steak earlier, so maybe it might be time to go vegan. But well,
Kind of.
DPOY, just to get into it, I know we got a little tangent, but you know, I thought Dyson Daniels. I for some reason I have him here on my list, but I also thought I'm forgetting his name. Oh my gosh, from the
Evan Mobley.
Cavs, uh, Evan Mobley. I thought he deserved it, and I think he still does because you don't get to be that good without having good defense, right? Obviously, offense is important. This is an offensive league, but I think we're starting to revert a little bit more to defensively. I've been noticing slowly but surely there's been better. Like I've been loving this. Like there's been better defense in the league now than before. Obviously, it's still high scoring games. That's based off of three. The amount of threes people are shooting now. But in saying that, I think Draymond deserves it. To be honest, I think he does. He's a defensive master. Like even
Mm.
though people cap on him, I think he deserves it. I know he kind of pushed himself to become DPOY. It feels like it, but I think Draymond. If it's not Evan Mobley, I think it should be Draymond. So
So who's
I'm
your
gonna
like
stick with
official
Draymond.
pick? Draymond.
I'm gonna stick with Draymond. I think he deserves maybe some bias, but I'm not trying to catch a stray. I'm not trying to catch up. So
Right,
I gotta
especially after
protect my back.
I already dissed him in the beginning of the podcast.
He lives
um,
kind of near me, so I gotta be careful. I'm not gonna
that,
lie.
that's right. You
Got my
could run
neighbor.
into him, but
Nah, yeah, you never know.
he's behind
Draymond.
him.
Just kidding.
But man, I feel like I'm happy that you brought up the point that he kind of pushed himself to be defensive player of the year. I think that's so
That's
funny,
crazy, man.
man. I actually think that's so funny that when Victor went down, he came on his podcast and he was like, "What's up, guys? Well, Victor's down now. I think I deserve defensive player of the year." And then everybody was like, "You know what? He's right." It's like what? Wait, look, and don't get me wrong, he's really good defensively still.
That's freaking
His age,
crazy.
but the fact that he pushed himself, because here's you said something some one point earlier that I think works more towards Evan Mobley. You were saying that Evan Mobley that they've been good defensively the whole season, and I agree with you. And just these last 2 months, he hasn't been the best defensively. Like he's still been good, but not as great he has been the rest of the season. And I feel like with Draymond, it's kind of the opposite, where he has been good the whole season, and then the last 2 months he's been great. So it's kind of like, what do you hold more value to? The last 2 months, where maybe the games are more valuable because that's when you're playing for playoff seeding, or do you count the other 60 games? Do you hold more weight to those because it's more quantity? So it would be the kind of like quality versus quantity. And I gave it to Evan Mobley. I just feel like throughout the whole season, just more consistent. If you take Wemby out of the equation, I think Evan Mobley would be in the lead. Um, Shout out to Draymond for being his own spokesperson. Sometimes you have to speak things into reality.
Low key, A. They
But I
say
don't
fake
think
it
he
till you make
deserves
it. I
to
guess you just
just.
gotta say it till you get it.
Right. You have to. What is it? You have to manifest it? That's the word, right?
Yeah, low key, low key. He literally manifested it by telling people.
And it's working. So
That's
if he wins it, I don't have any hate towards him. I think he deserves it. But my pick would be Evan Mobley.
and and that's a fair pick. I mean, he deserves it too. I think if I'm actually thinking who is actually gonna get it, I actually think Evan will get it at the end of the day. And my reasoning might be because of what just happened. Like Dre played amazing, but they still ended up going to the play-in, right? So I still have a feeling that because they consider all 82 games? I'm assuming, right, for these awards usually.
Yeah, they consider like
No.
every game. Well, not the
Okay, so
play-in
like
though.
no, of course not. But that they consider like the final seeding or no?
You know what? It's weird for. I feel like that year that Marcus Smart won it, they did consider it because he was a guard on the best team in the East. Um,
That's crazy.
but I feel like for these type of awards, it's like sometimes they consider it, sometimes not. It's just like depending on the circumstances.
Okay. Because if it's in that case, like you said, I mean, 60 games, the other 60 games, Evan Mobley played amazing. Like I said, like there's a reason why they won so many games, not just because their offense, but their defense too. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's interesting though. Evan Mobley. I actually thought you were gonna give it a Dre. I saw you were kind of glazing him. I don't know. I felt like the glaze was
I feel like
crazy
I
with
actually feel the
Draymond
opposite. I
recently.
feel like I've been hating on him this whole episode, but I hope people don't think I'm a hater on him. Just that, uh, you know, I just like to see him succeed because I I don't like when he does all the antics. I mean, I do like it, but because it's fun as a fan.
when he
But
stepped on when he stepped on Sabonis and then punched the heck out of the shit out of what was his name?
Nurkic,
Was it Valanciunas? Oh, Nurkic.
and then he
Wait,
choked out
Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Bro, remember when he went to Paris just to watch Gobert play and he sat like near him and stuff?
He's so
if
petty, man.
if you had a hater, bro, that's insane, bro. It's just imagine like you have a hater right now. He goes to all your classes at school or something, just sits behind you just to watch you fail or something. That's some next
Man.
level hate, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's freaking crazy. Um, but yeah, I guess it's a DPOY. That's a defensive
Yeah,
player
that's
of
our
the year.
defensive player of
That's
the year, and I think that wraps up all our NBA awards. Um, and I mentioned earlier that today was uh, the last game of the season. So
Mhm.
that being said, I think we should go into the play-in since we know who's gonna be in it now, and we can
Oh
predict
yes,
who's gonna make the playoffs.
the play-in. This is gonna be interesting. So who's gonna make it? So you're asking who's gonna make it to the eighth and seventh seed? You mean
So let's do this. We'll start off
who's gonna
with
make it to the playoffs?
the Bulls versus Heat, the 9 and
All
10
right,
seed
bet.
on the East. You want to go ahead? Who do you
9 and
predict
10
would
cents.
win that game?
Let me think about it because I don't. You know what? I'm gonna say, dang, this is actually tough. I want to say the Heat. My heart says the Heat because I love the Heat culture. I think the Heat can be underrated. I know they have the best season, especially losing Jimmy. Jimmy was a big loss. I'm not gonna lie, but in saying that, I think my heart's in the Heat. I think the Heat are gonna get it done
You think Tyler and
and then
Jaime
move
can get
in
it done?
into. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I thought Wiggins, bro. That's what I'm thinking, but
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot
think
about Wiggins.
I think Wiggins can get it done. He can lead a team. It's more like Tyler Hero's team, right? Or Bam.
Yeah, I think Tyler Hero. I think he took the. Bam's not
Tyler Hero
aggressive
took
enough.
the
I don't
reins.
think.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I think Tyler Hero. Wait, dude, I love when Tyler goes to the smirk.
Yeah.
The,
And everybody's
the
like, it's funny when he
I
does
was
that
like,
face.
damn,
Everybody's like, that is like
shit's
has a baby
tough,
face.
bro. Oh, yeah. Who do you think? Who do you think, man? 9 out of 10.
Well, I feel that I'm gonna give it to the Bulls, man. I just feel like right now momentum's on their side. The Heat are 6-4 in their last 10, and the Bulls are 7-3. Only like one game difference, but I feel like the Bulls have been finding their rhythm as of lately. With Josh Giddey finally playing up to his potential. They have the rookie. They have you know Kobe White, who has
Hmm.
just come out of his shell this season. And I feel that
Hmm.
the Heat, they have Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins. Actually, now that I'm saying that, that's pretty good. But they just haven't found a way to be cohesive. So I
Hmm.
feel that you give it to. I feel like I would give it to the Bulls. I think they can get in there with the momentum and take it. If the Heat still
Wow.
had Jimmy, I would pick them 100%.
So,
But now he's with
so, I
us.
mean, you can't really pick against Jimmy to be honest. I mean, after what happened,
Hopefully he's
they
not
got to
injured. By
the
the way,
yeah who?
Jimmy, remember in the game today?
Oh yeah, we just watched that game and he. I think we'll check later. Maybe I can check right now, but we'll check later. Hopefully he's not. But what about? So that's the first play in. Then they go into the second. Or no, they go into.
They would go into
Where did
whoever
they
wins
move
that
to?
one. Yeah, they would go into the second one. So I guess let's get that out of the way. Um,
Okay,
who
on
would you have?
the side.
Oh,
So
you know what? Since you went
Magic
first on this
or
one, I could go first on this one. Magic versus Hawks.
yes.
Um,
Who do you think?
you know
Trey
what,
versus
man? I
Paulo.
feel like the Magic is a better team overall. But if
Hmm.
you need one game, March Madness style, one elimination game, I don't know if you call anybody. And I know it's crazy because there's so many great players in the league. If I need one game
Hmm.
in the plane, I think I call Trey Young, dude. He's cold like that. For
Ooh,
one
he's
game,
cold.
he
He's
can.
cold.
For one game, man, he can get you out of there, and he's gonna be talking to the fans. He's gonna be rolling the dice on the New York arena. He's gonna be like, I feel like if you need one game, I know Paulo Banquero's cold.
Cold,
I think
bro.
Trey Young's
So
colder,
fucking
man,
cold.
for one game.
That's a fire line.
If it
For
was
me,
seven
it's
games,
close, man.
Magic, but one game, I give it to Hawks.
7 games Magic. I forgot his name. Does Grady Dick play for Orlando still? Right? No, it might.
Grady
I'm
Dick
thinking
plays
someone else.
for the
Plays for the
Raptors,
Raptors.
and
What am I thinking of?
you're thinking of Black. I don't remember his first name because they switched the jerseys.
Oh, right. Yes, that gets me confused. I don't know why I always think of that. I just think of that. That's all I think about Orlando. Obviously, Paulo. Paulo's great, man. Like I feel like he's like in this weird area where he's a star because he didn't get All Star. Did he get All Star this season?
I think he was injured around that time, so no.
He was injured, and he probably would have got it right because he was playing really good. And Paulo's in this weird thing where like he's so good, like he's really good, but I don't know how many. I mean, they got seventh place, so that's pretty good. But I don't know. I feel like he needs more help. Like he's a good player, but I think he needs more help, and he needs more help out there. So I would also say Trey. I don't know, but just like you said, one game. Yeah, I have the same feeling. 7 game series, I would say automatically the Magic. But since it's not, and it's just the one game, Trey wants this. I think you give it a Trey. Yeah, I think I'll give it to Trey Young's Hawks. I think as well. Atlanta. I think Atlanta will take it and they'll move on to go face the Celtics in the first round.
Yeah, then that's their price for winning the plane. You go play the Celtics.
Yeah. So
Okay,
we'll
so
we'll see what
that
happens.
means that leaves the Magic and the. Oh well, you said the Heat. I said the Bulls. So for in my scenario, I
What's
Bulls
your scenario?
versus Magic. I think there I can confidently choose the Magic. I think they could get that one done, especially after losing to the Hawks. I feel like they would have some a little bit more light under their fire, more gasoline, and they could get the Bulls out of there. Cause Paulo Banchero is a number one option that you can go to no matter what, and the Bulls,
Mm-hmm.
even though they're good cohesively, they don't have that one guy that can get them out the mud for one
Yeah.
game.
You don't have that guy, the star, the guy you see like jerseys of mostly in the arena for a reason, right? Not just
Right.
because why not? Mm, you know. So you said so you who's moving on to the AC? You said so. Then you're saying
In my
Magic
scenario, the Magic, yeah. But for
for
you, who will you have, the Heat
me
or the Magic? That one's interesting.
is very interesting. That's crazy. That's the Florida. That's a Florida battle right there. Orlando, right? Orlando,
Yeah,
Florida, and
that'll
Miami,
be a
Florida.
Florida
That's the
matchup.
that's the Florida Derby,
That would be
Florida
fun.
Florida battle. Mm, best team in Florida. It's because I'm getting vibes of recency bias for the Heat because they were good, but it was with Jimmy, and they have the pieces like Jaime Jaquez too is good. I mean, he just got 41 points today. He shows that he
Finally,
can get a lot of, he can pop off, but they gave him the reins today because I think I'm assuming they rested like Bam. I'm assuming.
they were probably resting some
Um,
players. I would assume, and maybe
and
even the
most
other
likely,
team
and
as well.
even
They were
even
resting players,
even the other team, right? Yeah, I was gonna say the other team as well.
Mm.
But in saying that, I mean, he's got a lot of potential.
and they were playing the Wizards, and they lost.
But yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna say, I think the Magic are gonna come off as being like, dang, we just lost that. We need this one, and I think the Magic are gonna go through. They're gonna
Okay,
face
so
the
we have the same
Cavs in the first round,
7-18.
which is
Yeah,
insane to
that's a
say, but
tough one.
they'll face the Cavs in the first round. Well, that's what we got. So for me,
So
I
in
guess
our
we ended up with the same
scenario,
Magic 8th seed.
yeah,
Hawks.
Magic 8 seed
Go ahead.
and Hawks 7. So in our scenario,
All right.
I don't think. Let me see. What place are they right now? Oh, in our scenario, the only difference would be that the Hawks and the Magic would switch seeding because of the play-in tournament. Which so
Yeah,
here in the
so you're right.
play-in
Great.
doesn't really make that much of a big effect. The two teams that are in it already, they would make it. Which is something that I want to talk about
Yeah.
before we talk about the West.
Mm,
I feel like the play-in, and I was talking to you about this the other day. It should be
yeah.
a little bit different. And I don't know if I heard anybody talk about this yet. So I'm gonna coin this as my idea. Um, I think
You're like, yeah, that's my idea.
just my
I'm the only one
casual
who thought
idea.
about this.
But I feel that if somebody has said it out there, my bad. I maybe heard it and I forgot. Plagiarism by accident. So
Every great idea,
what
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
what I think is, if you, in order for you to make the play-in tournament, you have to be at least 5 games to the eighth seed, because it's not fair for these teams to work their butts off the whole season to get a good record, and then a team that has 5 more losses than them to
Mhm.
make it, to have a chance to knock you out the playoffs, because it's just one game. And like,
Yeah, because you
for
could you could
example,
anyone can have a good game.
anyone could have a good game and now you're out of there. I don't think that's fair. Because like, for example, in the East, it makes sense. Like, the Magic are 41-41, Hawks 40-42, and then the Bulls, which are the ninth seed, they are 39-43. So only one game apart from the
Mhm.
Hawks, and the Heat are only 3 games apart. So in this case, let the play-in be, because it's close. This is the reason they made it the play-in, that there's so much parity in the league that they
Mhm.
want to give teams that deserve it the opportunity to make it. But on the
Mhm.
other hand, I'm going to tell you now, in the West, where I think the play-in should not be happening. because the Warriors are 48-34, the Grizzlies 48-34, the Kings, the 9th seed, 40-42. That's 8 games, 8 more losses. I don't think they deserve to even have a chance in my opinion.
No, and that's completely fair. Just because, like you said, like it makes sense in the East. The East, let the tournament happen. They're so close. They're one or two, 3 games apart max, right? Within, from there. And the wow here is 8 games. That's a big difference. It's like that. Those teams are gonna be bad, and if they have a good performance, they'll get in. And I
Zach
mean, they're
Levine
gonna
has
get
a
swept in the
50-point
first round
game,
anyways.
and now
Yeah,
and now
we
the
might
the
see.
Warriors out of the playoffs. Like since like somehow the Warriors out of the playoffs, the Kings are in there, and now you have a boring series with the Kings versus the Rockets or something, or the Kings versus the Thunder,
Ugh,
rather than the Warriors.
that wouldn't be the best. And they're gonna get swept probably, which
They would get swept 100%.
you
And again, if they were close, and if the Kings and the Mavs were close to the Grizzlies and the Warriors, I would be like, well, you know what? They won. They deserve it, even if they're gonna get swept. But the fact of the
know.
matter is that they're 8 whole games apart, and that's not even fair in my opinion. They didn't earn
No,
the right to play in the play.
the right to be there. But sometimes it's just, I guess, it's just luck. I guess at this point, sometimes they got
So I
kind
think maybe they should implement that rule. If you see that happen, Adam Silver, if you're watching this, please give me some credit.
of.
Send me a
He's
couple
gonna be
grand.
like, he's like, I just came up with this idea on the spot.
I'll be like,
Wait a minute. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, that's mine.
yeah, by the
Well,
way,
speaking of
what
that,
day is it?
ninth and
Sunday,
tenth seed.
April 13th, 2025. Just so that you guys know out there. Adam Silver
Well,
comes out with this
well,
tomorrow.
just to see. Imagine a couple hours. The Sacramento Kings and Mavs are eliminated from playoff contention, playing contention. What? Who the fuck? They're gonna get so mad at you, man. Because I'm pretty sure they get money for at least playing the eight, at least playing in the playoffs, right?
You know
TV
what?
stuff and stuff
Play
like that.
in? Oh, yeah. No, 100% TV. Oh, that's right. They probably
Playoffs.
make money from it, so this is never going to happen. But yeah, I think that the play in doesn't count, which is interesting. The play in is like a void. It doesn't count towards your
Yeah.
regular season stats or towards your playoff stats. It's just like its own thing.
Wow, that's actually
So
interesting.
like a little
Really?
void. So if you have a good game, like I think
Yeah,
Curry had 50 points one time in the plane, that doesn't even go towards your
he
like
did.
career or anything.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
So that playing game with LeBron and Steph, that was freaking iconic. Both of those stats don't count that they
yeah,
got.
they don't count.
That's actually kind of crazy. Wow. And these are some of the crazier games because it's an elimination.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, what do you think of? Speaking of that, well, we'll get into it. Ninth and tenth. Who do you think is going to win that game to have a chance to make it to the eighth
Kings versus Mavericks.
from Kings versus Mavs?
You know what? They're both bad. But if I have to pick, I'm picking
That's
the
fucking
Mavericks
crazy.
just because they have Anthony Davis, and it's similar to what I was saying with Magic versus Bulls, that the
Mhm,
Mavericks have a go-to guy. And I mean,
mhm,
the Sacramento Kings have DeMar and Levine, and they're both really good, especially DeMar's
mhm,
really
mhm,
clutch, but
Yeah, of
they're not
course.
at the caliber that Anthony Davis is. And I think Anthony could get them
Yeah,
that one win.
that's fair. And he has stuff to prove. He was injured for such a long time. Fucking crazy, bro. Like we made that joke where like I made a joke where like he touched the coffee and it got too hot and his finger got sizzed off or something. I said and he had his 3 games. Like I got you with that one. I remember
Yeah,
it was
no,
hella
I
funny,
remember.
but
So we were just like talking, just to give some context. So we were just talking like normally,
Mhm.
and then you were like, "Oh yeah, like Anthony Davis is not playing. He like burned his finger with a coffee." And the sad part was that I believed you because that's just that type of thing that would happen to him.
To the Anthony Davis thing. He played too much COD and got his fingers. No, but well, speaking of that, for me, for this team, ninth and tenth, you're right. They're not the best, but especially this season, maybe Dallas can pick it up next year. Same with Sacramento, but they might make it at least to the second play in, right? One of them will. One of them has to,
They
right?
still got Clay. So
Based, yeah, they still got to play. Based on aura alone, though. Based on aura alone, mm, who's got more? for the sake of the Mavs, I feel like the Mavs will make it. Like I think I'll agree with you. I think you said Mavs, right? So
Yeah.
I think the Mavs will get it done. I was gonna kind of joke around, but yeah, but it's not Ori and the Mavs. But no, for real, I
No, I
think
like it. I like
the
I
Mavs will
like
get it
when
done.
sometimes when you go off vibes, to be honest, that's when you get the most correct
Yeah,
prediction.
I think I get the feeling that AD. I know doesn't have Kyrie, and I know Sacramento have what Levine, DeRozan. They got all these players. But it's gonna be a close game. I think I'm thinking about it right now. It's gonna be a close game. But I think vibes wise, and even like I think Dallas do got more aura. I know it sounds weird, but they got more aura. I think they'll get it done. AD's there. I think AD might go for like could go for a 40 bomb.
Yeah,
But it's gonna
I
be, but it's gonna
wouldn't.
be, but it's gonna be very close. To be honest, it's gonna be very close. So we'll see. What about the next one?
The next game,
I want me to go first, or you want to go first?
yeah, go ahead. The Grizzlies versus Warriors, a really intense matchup. What do you have?
It. If yeah, oh my gosh, if Ja throws a grenade celebration, I'm gonna cry. But you know what? It's gonna be. I'm gonna say the Warriors are gonna make it. I think as long as Jimmy's not injured, I still haven't seen the reports if he's injured or not. It seems like I haven't gotten anything, so it seems like he's okay.
Yeah, I feel like he's okay too. I haven't gotten
Um,
anything.
yeah, but I think Jimmy with Steph and with Draymond, I think they'll get it done. I think they'll get it done. So, so I think the Warriors are gonna move on. They're gonna win this game against the Grizzlies. I'm not saying the Grizzlies are a bad team, but I feel like they were in fourth seed or third, right? Like coming into the last month or two,
Yeah, they were like
and
the
they
fourth
dropped to
seed at one
eighth
point,
place.
which
That's
tells you how close
crazy.
the West is, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the West is packed, so like you can't really say like, oh, they're ass teams. I'm not saying Grizzlies are bad; they're not. But in saying that, like I said, I think the Warriors are gonna get it done. I think they want this win more than them. I feel like than the Grizzlies. I'm not saying the Grizzlies again, but I think they want it more, especially with Steph aging. You got Jimmy. This is why you brought Jimmy over. Playoff Jimmy. Let's play in same thing. This is it. So I think they get it done, but it's gonna be a close match. Maybe going into unless they're blowing them out early, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close in my opinion.
I agree. Unless it's a
So.
blowout, isn't like in the beginning, it's gonna be close. And I was looking. The reason I was like looking down here was because I was putting up their last games that they played in this season.
Mhm.
They have played one, two, three, four. They played 4 games, and the Golden State
Uh-huh.
Warriors are one, two, three, 3-1 against the Grizzlies
Ooh.
this season.
3-1.
Um, so
Yeah,
that alone
that was
inclines
without.
me to
And
pick the
was it which
Warriors.
one? It was the loss without Jimmy. The loss or with Jimmy.
That was, yeah,
Because I know they
without
played at
Jimmy.
least with him once. I think.
And to be fair to the Grizzlies, one of those games might have been without John Morant, but because
Oh,
he's
you're
been
right. I
injured all
forgot.
of the season,
He's always up and down.
he's always
Yeah.
out of the lineup. Um, but I feel that the Warriors are more poised for this position. And even though the Grizzlies are pretty experienced, they've been in this position a couple times. They even played the Warriors in the playoffs a couple times, so they might find this might be finally the year where they get them back. But I don't think so,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you think
Curry's
the
gonna
Warriors as well?
get them out of there, bro.
Oh, do you know how cold that
If
would be
Curry
if
does
if they
that,
if he does the if like Ja does that early in the game and Steph's like and he goes he runs away from it.
that would be so cold.
People are saying that the it's starting either to become cringe or legendary because how Draymond was like slouched through the
Nah, I don't think
when
so.
Draymond did it.
I think it's funny when
It's
Draymond
still
does it,
fire.
but I don't
Jordan
think when Curry does it, he does it in the right moments. Because even
Curry's
LeBron
like
in that picture of LeBron and Steph going like that in the Olympics is cold, man.
it's called, bro. The King, that was fire, bro. I'm not
That
gonna lie.
was too.
People don't like it, but dude, it feels like I'm him.
I like it. I like it.
Crowning
Even
yourself is fire.
Giannis a couple years ago, he like crowned himself as the best player in the league one time.
Dude, I mean, fuck, dude, it's Giannis, bro. Like Man, Giannis, man, there's not much I could say. I would love that man in my team, man. I would be in love.
Me too.
I would have that jersey on 24/7. But
There was some
anyways,
rumors. Like every year, I feel like I hear the rumor Giannis to the Warriors.
every year, bro, every year. But
But now we
never
got Butler,
happens.
so we don't need him.
We got Butler. The the chef cooks, the Butler delivers. That's all we gotta know.
Oh,
Eight
that's
408 408. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cold bar. I saw that shit on Twitter. Well, what do you think then? So who's gonna win the? Well, the Warriors move on then. So then that means
so
that
we have the same
the
bracket right now.
we both said yes. So the Timbies, I call them the Timbies versus Dallas. Who is getting that
It
eighth
would
seed
be
to against
Grizzlies
OKC?
versus
Oh damn.
Dallas, right?
Yes, Grizzlies. Yeah, I
Grizzlies.
said Grizzlies or Grizzlies. But
Um,
Grizzlies versus Dallas. Who's getting it for?
Grizzlies, and I'm not even gonna overthink it, to be honest. I'm not even gonna give a reason. I think they're just a lot better of a
Actually,
team, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I think so too. I don't want to be like the yap forever, but I think the same thing. I think like between these two teams, honestly I think if seventh or eighth win, they're gonna go into seventh and eighth, which is why are they doing this in the first place? You know,
Right,
like you said, the play-in.
right.
If they're probably gonna get seventh or eighth, basically the Grizzlies and the Warriors are fighting for which one gets eighth or seventh.
Right.
Kinda.
That
That's
that's
what it
that's
feels
true.
like.
Which might be kind of nice because they have the same record anyways. So
Yeah, and for them it makes sense, right? And maybe that's what they might do. Like if they have the same record, even though they use the record of like the season or whatever, and that's why the Warriors are up because they have the same record, but because they beat them more. Is that
yeah,
why the Warriors are above them?
yeah,
Mm, interesting. But I guess 7-8 is the same position, anyways. Basically, like, it's basically the
yeah.
same
You either
position.
play the
So
Thunder or the Rockets. Well, usually you would be like first or second seed, kind of the same thing. But this year, the Thunder are so much more ahead that I think that you're gonna see some urgency that Grizzlies versus Warriors game because they're like, man, I would much rather go against the unexperienced young Rockets than the number one seed OKC
then the
Thunder.
OKC number one seed OKC, which again have probably the MVP, have a solid team.
So
Just the
solid,
vibes
yeah.
of that team alone, man, they're so good. They do remind me of that. They give me Cavs vibes too. I feel like they're very similar in that sense. I think the OKC is better,
Because
but
they
they
have
give
that
me Cavs
MVP
feel. I don't.
guy on their team.
Yeah, they have the guy, which I mean, we can get a whole into it, but yeah, you would much rather avoid OKC than you would much rather get Rockets rather than get OKC. You would much rather avoid them. So we'll see. But so we have about the same on the on the West.
Yeah, we have the same.
So that
And let me check something really quickly. The Tuesday. I'm not sure. So the playing games are gonna take place Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'm not sure when the second ones are. Probably Friday, Saturday. So
Mhm.
by the next time we record our episode, the playoffs should be set, and I think that'll be a good time. Next week, tune in if you wanna see the our playoff
The
prediction.
actual playoff prediction.
We'll
But
do you
dang, this
think
is
we should
exciting.
predict the whole first round, or should we? I mean, should we predict the first round, or should we predict the whole playoff?
It's gonna be tough. I think the first round, just because if we do the whole playoffs, it's just so much harder. Because if like the teams that
It
we
might be
chose
boring.
originally don't make it, then it makes it more like
I mean, we
damn.
could do the whole playoff, and then like
Um,
we come back over in the second round and redefine, like make little adjustments and
mhm,
stuff.
second round. But man, like it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. Damn, they're already selling tickets to that playoff game. They're already selling tickets to that game. Winner earns seventh seed. That's
That's insane.
crazy. They're on it. So did they get? Did they get? They get home court advantage, right? Whoever. Oh, I guess that's why you want to get seventh because you get home court advantage, right? Or
You
no?
wouldn't because
Oh, you don't.
the yeah, because the Rockets would have the. But you're talking about 7 versus 8.
I'm talking about seven versus eight.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Because I was saying like on seventh they basically say no. It's just because.
yeah. You're right.
Damn,
You're
that
right.
makes
You
sense.
get home court advantage.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, man. They'll be at home, so that's gonna be an interesting game. So we'll see. But I think that's
Yeah,
it.
I
I
think
think we
that's
went
it.
through everything.
So that was our whole. We went through the NBA awards and we went through the our play-in predictions. And if you made it
Mhm.
this far, you probably liked the podcast. So subscribe and like.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, the Pick and Pop podcast. We'll be
I
here.
forgot that's our name, to be honest.
I know, right? We'll be here
I was like,
once
wait,
a
what?
week, every week.
Hopefully, most likely, most likely.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll try our best. Every week, to talk about the NBA things going on around it. Even in the off season, we'll be here talking about some
Mhm.
fun topics, maybe about
Some
the
crazy
NBA.
stuff. Some crazy stuff. Honestly, so we're gonna have some crazy stuff. We're gonna be like, who's the hottest NBA player? No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Maybe we will. I don't know. I'll try to convince them.
Yeah, maybe Kelly Oubre,
We all know.
number one.
We all know it's LeBron.
Kelly Oubre, bro.
Who?
Kelly Oubre. He
Oh,
has that.
Kelly Oubre.
You know who he is, right?
Hey, some people like. Yeah, I do. Some people like Jordan Poole. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
he
saying?
is. He does have the light skin stare as
Honey,
well.
see you. Look. What the? Light skins to the.
Yeah.
He's doing, we know that when he fell on the camera was like, she's like,
All right.
uh, it's just hella funny. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. So
Yeah.
we
Thank you
appreciate
for
you
watching.
guys.
Like,
We'll make
subscribe,
more.
and
We're gonna make different things.
yeah, we'll make different things, and we'll be here next week.